Graceful amber window.
Hi, welcome to Once Upon a Stitch Nook and my desk where the creativity happens. So this is going to be a tutorial in kind of conjunction with my Cottage Apple collection, particularly for the vests. And we're going to do the tutorial for how to do these little apple appliques. So you can of course use them for whatever you would like. This just showing you kind of how it is utilized in this pattern. That is one vest. And then I have this vest, so I have these other apples here. And yeah, so in this case, I apply them to the pockets, but you could apply them inside the pockets. You can apply them anywhere, and of course, do any other project you'd like. So we're going to set those aside. Now, you can use, well, depending what you want. We're going to do the full apple and then like the apple cut in half. I'm going to show you how to do both. So I have these 4 colors. You can work with simply 3 if you want to do both versions, or if you just want to do the full apple, you obviously just need 2 colors. You'll need a stem color, which can either be a dark brown or black, like I have black here, and then your red, green, yellow, whatever color you would like to use. I'm just kind of using, you know, scrap bits, and they're kind of all over the place. I have this bamboo kaboo. I love this cotton, Yarntopia, and I think this was Bambootiful. So they are literally all different, but close enough. You want about something that's about a 3 weight. Or I think this is even 4 weight. Is it? Yeah, it's a medium. So around that area. So let's get into it. Oh, and sorry, you'll need, of course, scissors. Whoops. And I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook. You can also use a 3 if you want to tighten it up a bit. All right, I'm going to start with the simplest one, which is to do a whole apple, and I'm going to make it green because I think most of my other ones were red. I don't know. So I'm going to chain 3. Now, if you are better than me and know how to do a magic circle, you would make a magic circle chain 2. And working either into your magic circle, or in my case, into the first stitch, you're going to double crochet 12 into that same spot to create our circle. So go ahead and double crochet 12 stitches. All right, once you have your 12 double crochets, you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch to make it in the round. Now you are going to immediately, without chaining, do a half double crochet into the first stitch. The next stitch, we are going to do 4 double crochets all into that same stitch. This is giving that bigger upper bump. All right, like so. Now we need to decrease. So we're going to, in the next stitch, do a half double crochet and a single crochet into the same stitch. Like so. Now do into the next 2 stitches, just single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet. So you see how we're getting that. Now we need to do the little bottom butt part. So what you're going to do is single crochet into the same stitch, half double crochet, and then slip stitch into that same one. So now turning it this way, you can see it's looking like a tooth also, the 1/2 of the apple. Now slip stitch, we're basically going to mirror this now. So slip stitch into the next one, single crochet, I'm sorry, half double crochet into the same stitch here, single crochet into the same stitch, so mirroring what we just did over here, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2. Now we're going to do a single crochet and a half double crochet into the same stitch. There you are. And then 4 double crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are. Half double crochet into the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the same stitch. Sometimes I slip stitch kind of just down here. That's up to you, but there you have it. And that is the body of your apple. So I'm going to cut, leaving a bit of a tail. If you're going to use this for an applique, you'll want to sew it on. So I like to use the main color of the body to sew, and just kind of secure that by bringing it down, threading it towards the center. That's just my preferred way of doing it. Now all we need is a stem. So I'm using black. You can use a dark brown or whatever color you want. And you're going to join in the kind of center down here. Like so. And then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to slip stitch starting in the second from your hook down into the back loops, I might add. So you see here instead of the front. Sorry, the black doesn't show up great. But you'll slip stitch 3 down and then slip stitch back into where you started, like so. So I'm going to cut the yarn, pull that to the back. Oops, was not successful. Like so, and there you have it. And so I would knot these two together. You can either knot them very well, you can use, a little flame to secure them, or I tend to just kind of weave them a little bit in and out through the back of the apple. Or if you're sewing it down, you can kind of leave a short little loose tails that just will be hidden because it's sewn down, like so. So you would paste it down, it's hidden. So that's how you do the full body one. Nice and simple, right? Now let's do when the apple is cut open. I'm going to bring you up a little bit. Bring in my white, and we're going to make a red one. So we're going to start out pretty much the same, except I'm going to do my chain 3 or your magic circle. I'm going to scoot that out of the way. Magic circle plus 2 chains. And we're going to half double crochet 12 into the center one. We're going to try to make this a little smaller. So go ahead and half double crochet 12. Okay, we've done our 12 half double crochets. We're going to slip stitch to join as usual. And now you're basically going to do the exact same thing as we did before. So you're going to do a half double crochet in the first one without chaining. Oh, I'm sorry, I knocked the camera. Then double crochet 4 into the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half double crochet and single crochet into the next stitch. So half double crochet, single crochet. Then 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. The next stitch, you single crochet, half double crochet, and then slip stitch into the same stitch. So there you see our first half. Slip stitch into the next one, half double crochet and single crochet into that same one. Then single crochet 2. Then in the same stitch, single crochet, half double crochet. Next stitch, double crochet 4, 2, 3, and 4. I am assuming you know these basic stitches, your half double crochets, single crochets, and so on. So I'm not taking too much time to slow down for that. Half double crochet into the last one and slip stitch. So there you have it. And I'm going to cut that yarn. I used to leave more of a tail on the white yarn, but I found I like to, you can do that if you kind of don't mind the edges lifting, but I find I like my edges to be down, otherwise they kind of curl. So I'm going to leave the tail when we get to the outer edge. So I'm going to make this red. And also note what a cute heart this looks like. You could just like taper in here or make it a tooth. Be very cute. So we're going to join in the yarn at this kind of midpoint here. Going to join in the yarn. And then I'm going to directly start to single crochet into that half double crochet. I'm going to single crochet into the first 2 stitches like so. In the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet twice to give it that rounded edge. Single crochet into the next stitch, then single crochet twice in the next stitch again. So this will give us our roundedness, as you can see. Now we're going to single crochet our way down I think it's 5. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And then we're going to single crochet twice into the next one. Oops. Struggling a little bit there. And then slip stitch into the next one. And this completes our first half with adding the outer skin. You'll slip stitch into the next one. And if you want, what you can also do here, if you want it, make sure it keeps some more definition. You can slip stitch an extra kind of in between. And then it's hard to finagle a little. And then slip stitch properly into your next stitch. So I'll go ahead and just do that to show you. Then you'll single crochet twice. And then you'll single crochet into the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet twice in the next one. 1, 2. Single crochet into the next one. Single crochet twice into the next one. 1, 2. And then you'll single crochet into the last 2. 1, and this one's a little harder to see, so I'm just going to kind of place it here. 2, slip stitch into the beginning place where we joined. Now I'm going to cut my tail like so, bring it to the back. Okay, and there we have our outer edge. This is poking out a little more than I wanted, but I can adjust that with when I sew it down. Now you're going to add your stem, the exact same way we did before, and you can see the entry point here. We're going to join our yarn. Whoops. I feel like I need to bring you up a little bit. I'm feeling a little cramped. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting from the second from the hook, slip stitch into the following 3 back loops. 1, 2, and 3. And slip stitch back into the same spot we came out of. Why is there the red? Oh, I see. Because of the tail, it's coming out a little. That's fine. Cut that off. Bring it to the back like so. And so I'll just kind of adjust that a little bit later. Right now it's poking out a little. And now the last finishing touches would be to add your seeds. So I like to you'll kind of just roughly place them. In this particular yarn, I have a lot of holes that are visible. If it was more like I love this cotton, you wouldn't see it as much. But since this is the thinnest yarn of the bunch, but I like to use these top 2 to bring it through, and I'm going to give it kind of enough room to work with. And then I'm going to bring it down to a spot I like that feels fairly parallel. There's usually a little bit of curvature. Oops. And then I like to double pull it through so it gives it a little bit of thickness like so. So I'll go over here to kind of the other end. That seems to line up. I'm getting a lot of ends on the back here. That's why this one's a little more complicated. Going to come back up here to match our first spot. And then we're going to double, whoops, 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 whoops. It's coming through the yarn. I don't want that. Let me try that again. There we go. And just kind of check your tension. I want to loosen that up a bit. Pull that through, and there we have it. And so these guys, I'm going to trim them a little bit to make them easier to work with. And then I would just like tie them up in the back. I would, how would you say, weave them in. I would use a lighter to them, kind of whatever method you would like to finish off in the back. And the same thing for the ones from the stem. I'm going to kind of knot them all together personally. Here we go. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to cut them there and leave them like that. Okay, I had finished the entire tutorial and realized I hadn't done the demonstration for how to attach a leaf, which is optional. So I'm going to do that real quick because it's nice and easy. I'm going to use this one as a demonstration. You pick one side of the stem you want. So here, here, here. I'm going to go into this side, and you're going to insert into the base of the stem, or right jutting up next to it. Then join your yarn from the back to the front and chain 4, just like we do with the stem essentially. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting in the second from the hook, working into the back loops, you're going to do a single crochet, then a half double crochet into the next one, and then a single crochet. Now all you do is slip stitch back into the same point. You'll cut your yarn, knot it in the back. I'm going to pull that to the back. Right, and it'll look like so. So I'm not going to go into all that right now, but that's how it looks. And let's see. And so, like, in this case, I'd probably use 2 red apples on a green background, as, you know, that one doesn't look that great, but something like that. This. Now, I have a pocket just to kind of show as an example. I'm not going to sew them on, but just kind of showing placement. That's a spare one. This one doesn't show up here very well, but you would do something like this. You can just do one, which is very cute. You can make them pop out, like I said, from the pocket or wherever you want, or if you want to use them for your own use in something else, I think it'd be very cute. But that's how you do the full apple and the half apple. And again, I'm leaving tails to do an applique. You don't have to if you just want to use them for something else or glue them on to something. Entirely up to you. Goodness, this is messy. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. They will be in the written pattern as well. This is just a little extra aid. And let me know if you have any questions. I would love to see your finished works. Do tag me on Instagram and TikTok at Once Upon a Stitch Nook. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you.